Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. I may not be the best guy for this, but I'm here to tell you, you don't actually need an enormous fragrance collection. I know, it's crazy.
What?
You don't actually need hundreds of fragrances. Now, if you want hundreds of fragrances, or in my case, thousands of fragrances, go for it if it makes you happy, and as long as you're not going into crazy debt or anything.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
But you can get just 10 fragrances, have quality over quantity, and have everything you need and still smell absolutely amazing in any situation. And today I've got 10 fragrances for you, designer fragrances that will accomplish that. All of these are linked in the description. Feel free to check them out down there. And with each fragrance, I'll tell you why I would go for this one, or that one, or the other one. Let's get started with kind of a placeholder fragrance. I'll explain what I mean. It's Versace's Dylan Blue. Now this is a placeholder because I would put whatever your favorite blue fragrance is right here in this spot. So if you're in love with Dior Sauvage or YSL Eau de Parfum or Bleu de Chanel or even Dolce & Gabbana's K or something like that, or Dylan Blue, that's what you should go for. The reason I have Dylan Blue here is because it's really affordable. At discounters, it's not gonna cost you that much. It's way cheaper than Y, Sauvage, or Bleu de Chanel, the big three. It still is just as versatile as those big three fragrances. It pulls compliments like those. It's a great bang for your buck, and it's from a brand everybody knows, which can be important to a lot of people.
Brand recognition.
I know some people are gonna be like, I don't care what brand it is, I don't care what the bottle looks like, I only care about what's inside. But there are people where that's important, where they want that brand cachet. So yeah, this one you can wear anytime you want. Daytime, evening, summer, winter, doesn't matter. It's got a really nice fresh opening, a little bit sweet, but not overly sweet. Then as it dries down, it has a nice fresh woodsy base with a little incense going through there. Also has some interesting facets like fig leaf off the top, which keep it interesting. So Dylan Blue, that is my first choice, unless you love another blue fragrance, and then slot it in right there. Gotta have a blue fragrance. You gotta have that versatility. Before we head to the next fragrance, guys, here are some codes you can use to save money across different websites. Be aware of those JOMASHOP codes because they do change from time to time and they only work within the JOMASHOP app. So use the app, which basically is just their website. Then you can use one of those codes to save money. Then we got Fragflex, Max Aroma, the perfume box, all those other websites. And even though I'm not gonna put it in the official list, I would probably have West Loop also, which is a fragrance I creatively directed. So this was released underneath the Michael Malone brand, Michael Malone X Gents. There are 4 other fragrances that I've done. I've got 2 more coming out soon. Those are South Slope, Edgewater, Jet Black Enigma, and Terra Nova. You can find all those in every Perfumania and fragrance outlet store in the country, also on Nordstrom.com. But I would go with West Loop. I love this thing during fall and winter, just a massive compliment puller, really sweet, sexy, and in the air smells absolutely amazing. Women actually like this one a lot too, to wear and also smell. Let's get back into the list with Jean Paul Gaultier's Scandal Absolute. I love the way this fragrance smells. During fall and winter time, this stuff is absolutely amazing. A big compliment puller, really sexy. You can wear it during the day, but it's perfect for a night out or a date night. It's sweet, warm, has a touch of like a gourmand edge to it. It's gonna be kind of playing in that same ballpark as fragrances like Stronger With You or The Most Wanted, kind of in that overarching style, not necessarily that it smells the same as those fragrance lines or anything, but you would wear it at the same times and it's probably going to appeal to the same people. It's just here lately, this one has been my go-to, so I would go with this one. Great performance, like I said, big compliment puller, just smells amazing. Let's class it up from there with Dior Homme Sport, the newest iteration. This one is also a little bit similar to Dior Homme 2020, only this one is fresher, cleaner, and easier to wear. So you've got citrus in here, ginger, pink pepper, and woody notes as well. It's perfect for spring and summer, good daytime fragrance, good office fragrance, nice formal fragrance. It's got great versatility, another compliment puller, and if you're looking for a woodsy fragrance, this is gonna be one of your best choices right now, at least if you wanna keep it more modern smelling. Another choice would be Burberry Hero Eau de Toilette for something kind of in that overarching style, or Dior Homme 2020, but if I were gonna pick just one, I think I'd go for this. Even though it's called Sport, that's not really what I would consider a gym fragrance. It's fresh, but it is at the same time, like I said, very woodsy and fresh spicy at the same time. And talking about spices and keeping it with Dior, Sauvage Elixir. I would have to have Sauvage Elixir. This stuff is absolutely amazing. The performance is huge. It is costly, so That is a drawback, but this is quality over quantity, so that doesn't matter. It has like a little throwback feel to fragrances from the 80s, but done in a much more modern way and with a tinge more sweetness off the top. It's not a sweet fragrance, don't get me wrong. There's just a little bit in there that helps provide a balance to those woods and spices over the top and in the dry down. Really sexy, perfect for fall and winter time. Early spring also, especially during the evening. Summertime, personally, I'm going for something else, but this is one of the best smelling designer fragrances out there to me. That being said, maybe if you're much younger, like a teenager or something, you might smell this and think that it's a little bit too much. You know, it doesn't have a whole lot of sweetness in there. There's like a little tinge off the top, but at the end of the day, it's not a really sweet fragrance. So something like Scandal Absolute probably would work better for you in evenings if you're a much younger guy. Or Stronger With You Intensely, The Most Wanted, something like that. Then I have Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense from Givenchy. So gotta have some iris in here. Gotta have at least one iris fragrance, but I wanted to keep it really wearable. Now, Dior Homme Parfum, Dior Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo Intense, Gentleman Eau de Parfum, they all smell great, at least to me, but they are more of a specific scent profile, like something that you're gonna wear in really special occasions. And that's about it. That's about it, boys. At least for most people. I know there's some guys out there who are like, nah, I wear Dior Homme Intense every single day. I don't care. I wear it every day. 105 degrees outside, I'm wearing it. That's good, and that's good. That's nice. But for most people, that's gonna be, you know, more of a special type fragrance. This one still has that iris, still in the forefront. You know, you can easily pick it up. It's not hiding in the background somewhere, but you can pull it off during spring, during fall, during winter, maybe summer. And that's because it's a blue iris, a bit fresher, easier going. Still has a little bit of that creamy aspect from the iris, but not like full on makeup bag style. Little bit similar to Dior Homme Eau, which has been discontinued for a while. So that's another positive because that's one I like a lot. And I think it's just an easy one to kind of work in something different from time to time. You know, work in something that's not as basic as maybe a Dylan Blue. Nothing against that. It does the job very well, but sometimes you want a little change of pace. And this does that. Let's go really fresh with Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette up next. And this is the new iteration of Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette. You can tell, probably the easiest way to tell from the old to the new is the bottle style. So the new one has this gradient where up top it's frosted and at the bottom it gets kind of clear. The old ones, the old style, if you want to call it that, was just frosted from top to bottom. So this new iteration of Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette, a little bit fresher than the old one. Not that the old one was not fresh, it was, but this one is more citrusy fresh. Not as much of a white floral aspect going on, which makes it more appealing to modern audiences. Now look, the original Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette, that was my jam. Like I wore that for years, obsessively, religiously. But times change, and that's what this does. You know, it changes the fragrance a little bit with the times while still keeping it Acqua di Gio. So that one's gonna be just amazing when it's hot outside, you know, spring, summer, middle of summer during the day. Perfect choice. Be a nice gym fragrance, a nice sporty fragrance, and it also can pull double duty as like an office fragrance, a work fragrance, or even a date night scent. At the end of the day, Acqua di Gio has been one of the best selling men's fragrances of all time. The reason for that is because it consistently gets compliments, gets positive attention, it's easy to wear. And so people will buy it, they'll wear it, they'll use it all, and they'll buy it again. Let's go with something different. Luna Rossa Black from Prada. I'm a massive Luna Rossa Black fan. I think it is absolutely amazing. That being said, as far as your average person, they're probably not gonna be wearing this. This is more for people who are into fragrances, who want something that's a bit different from the norm, but still has that compliment factor to it. So this one has a lot of tonka in it. It's sweet, it's rich, it's bold, and at the same time, quite different from most other things. Now, when I bring this up, inevitably, I end up bringing up some other fragrances from the past that this does smell a little similar to, like Bulgari's Black or Midnight in Paris from Van Cleef & Arpels, but both of those are discontinued and have been for years. So that's what I mean when I say, you know, it's very unique. It doesn't really smell like much else out there because what it did smell similar to is it's actually dead and gone now, so yeah. So like I said, a lot of tonka, dark, sweet, bold, rich, a little rubbery, but really sexy. Just smells absolutely amazing. And very different also from all the other Luna Rosa fragrances. So if you're, for whatever reason, not familiar with this one, but you go, oh, well, you know, I do like Luna Rosa Ocean, very different. After that, I have Myself Le Parfum from Yves Saint Laurent. So the original Myself, the Eau de Parfum, that is one of the easiest to wear fragrances out there right now. Just as far as like the ability to grab that, spray and go, and it's gonna work everywhere, anywhere, it doesn't matter. Because it's basically just, you know, a simple, clean, fresh, lightly sweet, almost clean laundry vibe kind of scent, you know, with a good amount of white florals and touch of citrus in there. It's very, very easy going. This takes that DNA, makes it a little more interesting, a bit darker, gives it more push, more of like a resinous sweetness and warmth underneath the white flowers. So basically what they've done is they've tweaked the Myself DNA. They've changed it a bit. They've added in more of this ambery, vanilla, woodsy base, which makes this one really shine when it gets cold out. Fall and winter time smells great. But it's not so heavy that you couldn't still wear this during the spring or also the summer, especially during the evening. I would say that probably the original Myself is gonna be the more versatile of the two overall, but if I were gonna keep just one, I may lean more toward this just because it does have a little more going on. But also depending on the day that you catch me, I might prefer the original Myself, especially if it's like, you know, middle of summer. Then we've got Valentino Uomo, Born in Roma, Coral Fantasy. This one is a nice middle ground kind of fragrance. You know, it's not really overly heavy and dark and sweet, you know, the type of fragrance you can only wear in winter, but it's also not, you know, Acqua di Gio style where it's just really fresh and you just think of it as a summertime only scent. This kind of walks that line in between the two. It's fresh, but also sweet with a little warmth, especially as it dries. You've got some tobacco that comes out. The apple off the top is just really, really attention grabbing. So this becomes one of those almost do-it-all fragrances, jack of all trades fragrances, year-round, daytime, nighttime, doesn't really matter as long as you don't mind some sweetness to your fragrances. Which I think the sweetness, even though it hits pretty hard initially, is balanced out really well. As it dries down, there's like a little aromatic touch that kind of brings that in check. Got a nice masculine lavender geranium combo in the mid. I think this stuff can work for pretty much anybody. And if you're after compliments, once again, I've set most of these up to be compliment pullers, but woohoo, this is one of the best. Whew. That's why I train throwing these bottles around. That way when I randomly almost chuck one.
Really?
No, I'm just playing, I'm just a klutz. Which for me, you know, they probably should make these out of steel. That way I don't break them. Ooh. We're gonna finish it up with Invictus Victory Elixir from Paco Rabanne. Vanilla forward fragrances have gotten really popular here lately for men, and this is one of my favorite, one of the best. It's almost edible, like delectable, has this kind of fizziness when you first spray it on. It's got little bits and pieces of a number of other fragrances. It gets compared often to Le Beau, like having kind of a coconutty type vibe to it, along with that vanilla. And that stuff, you cannot go wrong with it. Fall and winter time, absolutely stunning. More of an evening scent, but that's that type of fragrance that you spray it on and you catch whiffs throughout the day and you just want to spray on more and spray on more. It becomes addictive, kind of a problem. And that one, I think really anybody could wear it. Younger guys can pull it off, middle-aged guys can pull it off, just as long as you like vanilla. Ooh, amazing. Ooh. God. See, I'm clumsy today. So there we go, guys. There are 10 fragrances if you're looking for quality over quantity. These are some of the best in their particular styles, and you have something for everything here. Any season fragrances, fall and winter fragrances, spring, summer fragrances, daytime, nighttime, date nights, office, whatever. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Let me know some of your go-tos, some of the ones that you would have to have if you were gonna go with just 10. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.